What's up, guys? Oh. Oh, shoot. Okay. Man, it's so close. What's everybody up to? Billy, what's going on? DQ, what's up, man? How's everybody been? How's their week been? Billy, I'm gonna state the obvious. I'll be late to my own funeral. That's just me. I get into doing something. Well, what happened was, like, I was editing videos, and like, I hate when people micromanage people. You too, huh, Billy? What's up, James? Wife's making peanut butter. Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah, I was editing some videos, and you know, I try not to micromanage when I'm doing stuff, and I have help. So, like, I ask, can you sharpen your saw? Yep. So, I trust you can sharpen your saw. And then I'm watching the footage, and I guess he didn't realize he had a camera pointed in his direction. And instead of grabbing the file, he grabbed this, which is meant for the big saw. And man, he's got this thing, like, it is so messed up. But I won't sit here and keep sharpening a saw and make this a boring live feed. So don't run off on me. Give me just this. Let me finish this tooth here, and that way, I'm at the double one anyway. That way I can remember where I stopped. And we're going to discuss. Actually, we're just basically going to discuss loaded cams and bollards, like how a device works. So what kind of inspired this was Reg just finished up his device and put out a video showing it and like went into detail on a few things. But it looks like such a great device, and I don't know if everybody, like, the device to me, let me move this so you guys can talk. So, the device to me seems amazing. The fact he can get, okay, so a loaded cam is what the device uses. It uses 2 loaded cams. The problem with a loaded cam, though, is it's engaged by adding your body weight. Let me try to keep up with comments, too, so sorry. Rob Bob, what's going on? Hey, orders from Grandpa. Oh, dude, awesome. Got my order. They are insane with their shipping. Their shipping is like, yeah, they're so awesome. What'd you get? Rob Bob, good evening. What's up, JC? So, I forgot what I was saying. Good evening, brothers. Much respect. Oh, from Canada. What's up, brother? The new Eldred device. Oh, the new Eldred device. What did GP say? I missed it. I'm trying to catch up on comments. I'm just gonna jump here to Rob Bob's and Eric. What's up, Eric? I just now seen Eric. Good to see you, Rob Bob. Well, here we go. Loaded cam. And I'm not just gonna sit here and ramble. I'll pull some stuff out. We'll set some stuff up so we can, like, explain it in detail. I'm trying to figure out how I would really do this. I guess I could use this tree that I have. So let's do this. Let's kind of put you guys here for a second while I dig my climb bag and get some stuff. Dakota, what's going on? I had website issues. He called me to fix it. Awesome. That is awesome. Cool, James. Looks like a GriGri. Yeah, very similar, huh? What's up, Dakota? It looks like a GriGri. I love the grillion I use if for overhead applications all the time. Right on. Yeah, I can understand. I can see that. Oh, damn, what's going on, man? Okay, here. What did I see there? Who was that? Dakota, DQ. I said it looks like a baby from a spider jack and a bulldog bone. Yeah, so let me kind of, we'll do this right. So, what we got here is the GriGri. This, I found on a job, like an old job site that got left. One got that yesterday. Well, we'll go ahead and do the full setup. So, a couple of these pieces of gear that I have are kind of interchangeable, and I'll show you like why. So, this here foot loop attaches, see my bungee here? That goes to a old foot ascender. And then I sewed this strap on there from an old ratchet strap or something, and then put a link. So what I do is I attach this link to this foot loop and shorten it, and then it turns into a knee ascender. So set up, I guess. Is it lit good enough? Yeah, we're lit all right. All right. Damn, I'm getting a lot of gray in my facial hair. Getting old. Definitely see the spider jack in me. I use some green for my days. Right on. How did you? Oh, what's up, John? Okay, so Andrew, what's up? From Louisville, Kentucky. Heck yeah. I have something very similar to my knee ascenders. Yeah. So I just took it. What that is a Panton, old Petzl Panton, and I just took a bungee and looped it through back there with a couple little zip ties, and then attach this bungee that's got a clip on it. And so it, as I step, it engages and pulls it up. But then this foot loop is where it's at, because I bought this foot loop, and this is the whole reason. This is what got me into SRT. So I'm just going to show you right from the beginning, and then we'll get into comparing the two and like what I feel like it was. Because after seeing him explain it, I was pretty close. I feel like I understood it almost from the get-go. So what's cool about this foot loop? We're the VA here. So what's the topic? Weight test on tie-in point. Southeastern PA. I seen a lot of tree broken in the middle of the spur. Okay, so foot loop. Put your foot in there. And what I use this for, and the main reason it gets used and why it was bought, was because of, let me grab a little rope here. We'll go ahead and use this little bit of rocket line I got here. This is some old rope, but I like to use something with its own eye always. So there. Now the reason I bought it was because I wanted to be able to get up in a tree and access it SRT and be able to do pruning. Because at the time I couldn't do pruning really, you know, how to get up in the tree because I had just figured out and started like looking into the hitch climber, and like I was taut line completely. So I'm like, SRT was already a big thing. Well, it just kind of started to be a thing. And I'm like, all right, I want to figure out how to get up there on a single rope. Let's see if I can change it. Okay. Yeah, that's better. So we'll go ahead. I'm gonna take this off here so it's not like distracting to what we're doing. But we'll go ahead and anchor off up here. It's so small. Like this, put a half hitch in it, use up some rope. But so you would either be base anchored or canopy anchored, like up in the tree with your rope. So the GriGri is awesome. So let me show you this. Okay, we're still good. So the GriGri is cool. Here's why I'd say it's so similar. Because you take it, it's got a lever to release your weight. So this lever, if you notice, it's spring loaded, but doesn't really, it'd probably surprise you to know like what that lever is actually doing, because it's not actually like probably doing what you think. So the way this setup works, it splits in two. So the GriGri's here, it opens like that. So it cracks open. If you look here, there's a little drawing to tell you which way the rope should go. The rope should go, it's got a climber climbing up. So the rope goes in like that. So you would go, put your rope in. Like this. Then you would close that back over. Now the rope is in there. Did I just wrap it wrong? I did. Because here's what's awesome about it. They make it almost dummy proof, because there's actually a little guy on the outside too climbing up. So if you want your you're going up to be here at the top, and then this is your exit in. Now if you notice, Reg said that the problem with using a loaded cam is that you can't most of the time with these devices because of this. You can't use rope walking anymore, because now the device, it goes in, okay, but then it comes out on the side, and then that affects the ability to use it for rope walking. So if you can't rope walk, now how are you using it to get in the canopy SRT? So you take the device, if you get it on there, I love this beamer. It works perfect for this, and plus it's screw locking, so when I'm putting it on when I'm getting ready to climb, I screw lock completely in, and I don't got to worry about anything ever hitting it, but locked in. So now we got, and here's the way it works, like same way. You just pull rope up, and then it locks in. But look, dang it, now I gotta bring it back out. Look how this works. Watch the device as I put weight from pulling down. See it open? Watch right there. That's the cam loading itself. And what it's doing is it's smashing down on the rope with the other, like the rope goes in the cam shape, but it's biting down on it with the other end. So it's holding it in place. So your body weight dropping down onto the device now totally loads that cam, and it, to relieve weight, you're pulling here. So what you're doing is the cam's locking back here where this rope's coming in, and you know, you're taking and relieving here Well, actually, yeah, it's locking right here in the middle, actually. So what you're doing is you're pulling weight off of that almost with this trigger. So that's the reason with these cams, they get jumpy. Like when you go to use them on some devices, when you go to hit them and like descend, they're very jumpy. And like if you can get yourself in that kind of weightless fashion, when you go to hit it and like where you like relieve your weight, it starts to ease out much easier. So very hard device to get dialed in. And the problem with it, you can't use it rope walking. So here's how you change that. Since you can't rope walk with it, you got to be able to use it in SRT form somehow. So there is a way, and it makes it's pretty nice. Like, not my favorite way, definitely works. So I'll get back to comments here in just a second. It's just hard for me to like talk and read the comments at the same time. Let me see if I can put you guys here. We'll change the angles up a little bit. So you got the GriGri there. You get your exit end and the end that you're ascending. So you take a hand ascender and lock it in above the device. So now you have, that's just hard for me to get it all in there, dang it. That's what she said. So it's hooked up like this. You put a hand ascender up above it. This same thing can be done with like a zigzag and DRT. So it's a total different way to ascend the rope other than rope walking. It's a sit, stand, sit, stand, sit, stand. And it's pretty effortless. Like, it's pretty easy. So as far as like on the body, I feel like it's way easier than rope walking almost. Until you figure rope walking out completely and you get comfortable with it, because you're so tense always. But you're anchored in, you got the hand ascender up here. So how is that going to help? We're going to take the exit end that's coming out of the device, and we're going to take it, we'll take a micro pulley, put it on the exit end that's coming out, not the anchored end. So on this, here's something like I point out to people all the time that kind of use this method when you're trying to get a 3-to-1. I could take this and hook it down here. And I'll show you what this looks like. So now I have a 3-to-1 set up. I raise the hand ascender, and when I pull down on this, watch, it brings the device up. And it gives me a 3-to-1 here. But why would I hook it here when I can get more of a stride if I hook it up here? So let me show you. Now everything becomes way more like together when you see this, and it serves another purpose of locking in the rope on the hand ascender so it can't come out. So take that same thing, the exit end of the rope, and you're going to lock it up in the top instead. So I'll just put my beaner on a lot of time, have it on there, and then take it and lock it up here. So now, oops, I wasn't paying attention. So now you've got it set up like this, which is going to give you way more of a stride. And this is the setup I would say on any device when you're doing a rope walk and you want to go out. You go take a hand ascender, put it up above your device, and clip the exit end of your rope back to it. And then hold the exit end as you go out, because it'll give you the mechanical advantage as you're like descending too, and it's much smoother because the rope now is going into the device like this, straight into it, as opposed to off to the side like it was before. So you get a mechanical advantage ascending and descending with this. So if you're way out on a rope walk and you're way out there and you want to come back in, you can easily grab this end, your exit end, bring it with you, and you just pull on it, and it brings the whole thing in with, oh shoot, I forgot that thing's not bolted in. It brings it in with ease. So now I could, with this setup right here, I could get up a tree with just it. I wouldn't need anything else, but I would have to use a lot of pulling power. That would have to be a lot of pulling on this one side all the time, hip thrusting, hip thrusting. So that's where the foot loop comes in. I'm running out of carabiners. Okay, so where did I put my foot loop? I don't even remember where I put it. Oh, here it is. So we got this foot loop. This is what, like, I feel like this is such a good little tool to have. I've used it in so many different ways, but it's just a foot loop, okay? Petzl foot loop. This all came in a kit. It was the Petzl GriGri SRT kit, I think, or the Petzl SRT kit. So I'm like, okay. So now you would take and hook this to the bottom here. So now I have a spot to put my foot. So every time I extend the hand descender up, when I sit into the weight and I extend the hand descender up, my foot loop goes up, way up, and I just step in it and pull this at the same time. So I step, pull, set, step, pull, set, step, and just repeat. And it's like effortless because you could pull yourself with one hand up this thing. So that's the same, that same setup could be used with anything. Whatever device you got, usually they have a micro pulley at the base of them, whether it's rope wrench or anything. You can run that back up to the hand descender and use this same climbing setup to get up anything. It only requires one leg. You don't have to have any ascenders. Like, you don't need a foot ascender. You don't need a knee ascender. You just need a hand ascender. And the micro pulley isn't even necessary. You can just clip a carabiner here and run it up through the carabiner and use that. You don't have to have a micro pulley. So to do this whole gig, a foot loop, a carabiner, a hand ascender, and a carabiner. That's all that's necessary. But I would definitely recommend the micro pulley because it's much nicer and easier. So yeah, and the reason now, see, but if you notice on Reg's device, I think what has happened is they've taken the cams and they're sideways. There's a cam here, a cam here, a bollard here, and a bollard here. A bollard is like, here's one. There's a bollard right there. So that pin, when engaging on a rope, allows if you have, just your simple micro pulley, hitch climber, and a knot, they say you can't climb on that knot on a single line because it won't hold. But it holds when you slap this little device on there because of the artificial bend it creates. It creates a bend which causes the rope to almost run in a DRT fashion toward they're side by side, like up, sharp bend, then up. That's why your knot can hold then, because this bollard here on the rope wrench is creating all kinds of friction to compensate the fact you only have one line as opposed to like two and it running through something, a friction saver, a crotch, whatever. But yeah, but that's my 2 cents about that. And I think Reg has figured it out, because the problem with cams is usually if you're using them when you're engaging on them, the way to get the cam ungaged or to disengage and get yourself to descend is you have to relieve the weight off of it. So that's where the problem comes in on those, is because it's so hard to do without it becoming very jumpy, because all the tension that's put in the line. But if you have those artificial bends like the bollards at the beginning, and it may be two at the beginning. I don't really know how exactly it's set up, but the fact that when you put the weight into the system, that's the reason it's got a handle, because the handle is relieving the weight off the cams in some fashion by probably transferring it to the bollards in some way. You're probably, as you're engaging that, yeah, that would be my guess. But he's such a smart guy, so I'm gonna jump ahead on some comments, and I'm really, really, really sorry. Do not get mad at me if you said something. I apologize. Let me get down here, and if anybody has any questions on any of that, ask it, and I'll be glad to answer. So seems like I lost a few, but looks like no, we have a few more people now than we did. Okay, now Ground Pounder's comment. I'll go from Eric's comment. I'm going to check out Reg's device video after this live. Yeah, Eric, if you go onto my community page, I put a link to his video, so you go check it out. That's just what I'm guessing here. Rob Bob, that's the way it would work. I wanted one set up that can go SRT to DRT on the fly. Then I can descend no matter the situation. Yeah, I used the GriGri and SRT or DRT. I used the rope wrench. I've used the rope wrench in DRT. That's the thing about the rope wrench stuff. I don't really show much anymore, but like you can easily, while you're using the rope wrench, switch over to DRT by just taking the wrench off and flipping it out of the way. So really, like I said, thinking about kind of going back to just press a cord and the wrench. So, but the unicenter is just looks like the bee's knees. So I get why everybody gets that thing. I definitely do. Looks cool. Yeah, I think Reg is kind of. I think I relate to Reg, like the worry of something like that. Like I just, like, I don't think people understand how long I will how many times I will test things and do things and like mess with things before I ever would dare slap together a video on it or talk about it. Um, like I, for the longest time, was doing a bunch of stuff on like double whip rigging and span rigging, and there were like a couple months of me messing with that before I ever come to YouTube and was like, hey, check this out. And I wish that was like people would do that a little more on some stuff. Like I don't know, but I think it's more me. Like I worry because I don't want it on my conscience that I didn't maybe think something out completely, and all of a sudden I just ran through YouTube and was like, look at me, and somebody got hurt. So no, maybe that's just like a character trait, but yeah, I think he's probably crossed all of his, T's and dotted all of his I's. He's a smart guy, and it's definitely in his first thing he's put into the industry. He's made his mark for sure. To be completely honest with you guys, I'm totally not excited about Reg's invention. Hey, to each his own. I think it's cool. I really do. Only because I've seen how effective the GriGri is. I'm not excited about a lot of devices. Like I'm stoked on them, but the price is insane. The price is absolutely absurd, and so I can be totally stoked on a device, but it doesn't mean that I would pay that. Like I don't own an akimbo. I don't own a lot of devices. I only own a couple, and A lot of them were just given to me. So I imagine it's going to be pricey, but I'm I'm going off of the devices that I know and the way that they work and the combination of what's being done there, and it seems like that device that's long term. Like they may come up with lighter, smaller devices and more compact and stuff, but I think the concept and the way it works, like the GriGri was genius, but it doesn't work in tree work the way it should, like the way it needs to. It's not bulky enough. It's not strong enough. So it doesn't, you know, give you the ability on the descent as much as you would want because it runs off the single loaded cam. So I don't know. Thanks, Ground Powder. And the Uni is perfect for that. And I am disappointed I waited this long to get the modification for it. Yeah, Rob Bob, I seen that. That's cool. Definitely look for the little pulley too, or make your own. That's skateboard bearings on a little like pin thing that you could probably bend one out yourself and like look at it and maybe come up with your own. But um, Rion's a good dude. You know, he seems like a good guy, and I think that's his invention. So there's a company that sells them, and it was the same. I think it's the same company that sells his tether. So definitely look into that because that is the only thing I see on that device is the tending. I want to be able to tend my slack very, very easily with one hand at any time, and it needs that help with the mechanical advantage. If you've used the mechanical advantage to tend slack, you don't want to go back. So I totally get that, Dakota. I really do. I think I'm kind of similar. It was a really hard thing to kind of go over to switch to. I started with a rope grab, like on my lanyard, using a lanyard rope grab, and it kind of went on from there. And like I still don't feel the most comfortable on a zigzag. Like I don't feel as comfortable on that as I do when I get on my rope wrench. So like I get it, man. I totally get it. More pieces, more potential failure points, and a mechanical device has so many potential failure points that it's like you could spaz on it easy. I ordered mine from Richard Mumford at Climbing It. Okay, so Richard has them too. Right on. He installed the drum and wear bar. It was $345 though. There's people not like mechanicals though. Dakota, I'm sure it's cool. It's just not my thing. I'm more into saws. Right on. The mechanicals I have ever climbed on is a rope wrench or the rope runner. Yeah, wrench would be RW. Rope runner. Um, you have to cut the end of the uni off to make that mod. What? Uni seems like something I would like, but also it seems kind of crazy. Yeah, I know. On the bottom out the end. On the bottom out the end. Really? It's crazy how quickly it grabs, Dakota. There's absolutely zero setback. I looked down Four Oaks. I took down Four Oaks today with my unisender and the saddle and spot. Oh yeah, first month business contract climbing. Big company, so I got lucky. Congrats, Rob Bob. That is so awesome, dude. Good for you. That is awesome. Yeah, I'm kind of bummed. I think, like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to do something. I gotta figure something out because my rope, like, I have one rope that I use nonstop, and it just got left on a job in like a muddy area in the rain for days before it was found, and it's like what I use to pull stuff over. So I don't know. It's got me spazzed. Like I hate it. I hate that it got wet and like But yeah, I need to get a 3-strand, a good long 3-strand rope. So well, you need to put a bolt there and bearings. Yeah, yeah, do that. Make your own mod. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying though. You could probably put like a quickie pin and put skateboard bearings into it. Um, you could definitely do what you're saying. So I mean, you could make your own mod. It's just a couple of bearings. You go get an old pair of rollerblades or something and pop a couple bearings out of it. There you go. You just need to be able to. It has those ear things on it so that it grabs right onto it every time and like keeps it in that channel. And it kind of, I don't know how that works. Kind of works as a spring maybe. I don't really know, but I could see that's the only issue that I kind of seen with it. But other than that, if you have the drum and everything, dude, it looks killer. It looks it looks so nice. Squirrely John, what is up, buddy? I totally seen that on August channel a while back. I like the fact the wear plate will make it last almost twice as long. Yeah, and not only that, but it's being put on not a sharp bend radius. You know, that's a stupid sharp bend radius for that device. I don't much understand it. Um, like it's a very, very sharp bend radius that you're forcing it to go onto. So not only is it stopping the wear and tear, which sucks that it even that's something that happens because it would wear fast. It's given it a good safe bend radius and a channel to fall into, like the way Richards put it together. So yeah, great device, and you know, a couple people out there made it with a few adjustments. They made it amazing. So I'm not a fan of the part that Richard made. I'm not a fan on the part that Richard made addition to other side of the wear plate. The rope can get caught in between. He has a video on it. Made addition to the other side of the wear. So he has another addition that you put onto it. I guess the bottom wear plate is that. Yo, I climbed SRT on a hitch cord the other day. You're crazy. Just a hitch cord? There's certain ones that you could. I've seen it. Like I've used it as a secondary tie-in point. You know, use the Michoacan, and especially if it's secondary. Yeah, I don't see any issue in that. But life support, you know, I just feel like you're. I've done it, man. I've done it. I get it. At my age now, I just don't. Like, I just don't take the chance. So I get it, though. I totally get it. Get the Hitchhiker. If you're a guy that likes just climbing on just that, look for the Hitchhiker X, whatever. It just came out. Check that out, Dakota, because it just allows you to use a prusik cord, a micro pulley basically, and it's got a little metal casing that sits on the device. But that's what it is. It's very simple, not a bunch of pieces to mess up, but it's safe and it takes and makes it so you could be running at DRT or SRT and it's going to work good. So look into that. I think that's an awesome device. That's one I would like to try too. Everybody said the same thing. Just hitch cord? He said, yeah, bro, it slipped. I had to blade. Yeah, yeah, it doesn't work that way. You need, there are certain knots that I've seen people use, and usually it's not a simple knot that just involves wraps and like it needs a combination of wraps, crosses, and twists in the rope to create enough friction. Like some of the twists and stuff on some knots is what it almost puts an artificial bend into the rope and allows you to be able to use it kind of that way. But like you can use the VT. So the VT is like 3 or 4, whatever you want to do, and then you start crossing it on the back, and then cross the front, and then cross the back, and then cross the front till you run out of hitch cord. The only difference between the VT and the XT, as far as prusik knot, is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, when you go across in the back here, you take them and twist them all the way around, and you create an X right there. You see that like X shape? You create an X in the rope. That X forces almost kind of like way more pressure onto the rope there, and definitely creates more friction. So there's just every prusik knot is just a combination of twists, um, wraps, or what's the other one? Twists, wraps, or crossing. Yeah, it's the or crossing. I should have like a total brain fart out of nowhere. Watching Paw Patrol, right on, man. I think I might have to make a video on what I'm talking about, brother. Right on, yeah. Yeah, I'll check it out. It's a technical notice video on his channel. Okay, right on. I kind of get what you're saying. I could see how it gets stuck. How could the rope, though, get stuck there unless it, like, I don't know how things line up, though. I've not looked at it that close. I just figured you would make it so it's exactly the same length and width so that nothing could happen like that, but I don't know. Yeah, Ground Pounder's definitely got a channel. He's Ground Pounder. I love my Hitch XF as well. Right on, Ground Pounder. Yeah, see, that thing looks cool. But Dakota, Ground Pounder's got, like he's talking about there, definitely you may want to check that one out. The XF, if that's what it is, awesome. It's what you're looking for. It's going to keep it very simple for you. So it's not too much, mechanical stuff that you're having to depend on. It keeps it very simple, keeps it, somewhat basic, and it gives you all the advantages of having an SRT device. So definitely check it out for my hitchhiker. Yeah, that would make sense. I think it's probably the prettiest of all the prusik knots. It just looks the cleanest. Like if you look at a distill, like, or a VT, XT's ugly. It's all twisted up and funny, but yeah, I don't know. It just looks so clean. So. I just wanted to come down from the spar. I did the whole climb BRT and used the SRT method of descending the spar. Oh, okay. Right on. Yeah, I mean, if you just had a rope wrench, just the tether and the wrench, that sucker can be slapped on and taken off too. It's a very simple one. It allows you to use exactly what you're using. Prusik, micro pulley. That's it. And you slap a wrench onto it. And the rope wrench is the bee's knees. Still, I have to admit, it's my favorite device. I like the bells and whistles and the shininess of all this stuff. Like, when I go slap my rope wrench on and go wrapping the prusik cords up, customers ain't like, oh, wow. Like, people, when they see it, they're not like amazed. You pull the zigzag out and start putting it on there, like, what in the world is that thing? Oh, what are you? So, you know, sometimes it's the awe of the object more than the functionality, it seems like. So, Eric, that is awesome. Yeah, hey, dude, every Tuesday, this time every week. This time every week. We do this every week. So, um, and I don't know if this is your like one of your first ones, but we just um yeah, I guess it was last week, wasn't it? We did the discount thing. And I'm kind of curious. I hope it worked out good for Gap. I hope they ended up getting a bunch of new accounts and stuff. And yeah, but I was sitting there thinking about I need a good 3-strand that is got a Sonai too. That would be nice. But I would like for it to be Sonai with like my clip on it. Or no, I don't even care. Like I'll tie my own knot. I can totally demonstrate. One of two things will happen. It will be stuck in descent mode if you're using less than a 13 millimeter rope. Wow. But if you're using 13 millimeter, it will stick you right there. Really? That's wild. Yeah, and like prusik cord and what kind of rope you're using, it like let's just do this. You got 13 millimeter rope. You use the same exact knot and prusik on a 13 millimeter rope, and you use a distill. It's only 3 wraps and all the stuff at the bottom. You use that exact same knot from the 13, and you go down to an 11 millimeter rope. It's going to work much better on the 13 than it will the 11. And the reason is the difference in rope size. That's when you want a prusik to work, a prusik knot to work, you want the rope to be much smaller than the diameter of the rope that it's being put on. The smaller it is in comparison, the harder it'll bite and the more it'll grab. So that's the reason a prusik cord is always going to be very small stuff to get that bite, because a lot of guys, their rope sizes vary. So you will get a difference using the same prusik knot, same prusik on a 11 millimeter than you will on a 13, mainly because of the difference between the ropes. The 11 millimeter is going to be much closer to the size of the prusik than the 13 millimeter will be. So I'm sure most people probably knew that, but it's just sometimes they just ramble. What do I think of the Unicenter? I think it's cool. It is very, very, very nice. I climb DRT at my day job and use only what the company provides. When I'm doing my own work as a contractor, I have my own gear. Right on. Oh, YouTube's like, some of you guys' messages are getting deleted and taken off. I don't know. YouTube's being weird. Okay, Dakota. But why not make your life easier on no matter if it's for you or Yeah, but you got to think, Rob Bob. Some companies don't want you bringing anything in. The liability of that, they don't want that. So they say use what we have, use the techniques that we use, and do not go outside of that. Some companies only you're only allowed to wear certain saddles, certain hard hats, um, certain you're only allowed to climb on certain ropes, do certain knots. Like there's it it depends on the place. They can control so much of it. I've dealt with it, seen it, so. But yeah, I would imagine a lot of that's probably out of Dakota's hands. I'm compounding. I have a problem. Right on, Dan. Looks like I got a freaking. I'm gonna have to check and see if they got some 3-strand rope that I could order. Because I already have given way too much of my own money trying to make up for what they haven't provided. Yeah, and that's a big problem too. Like some companies will let you, like, instead of getting you something and making it easier on you, they're like, no, use this old shit and like wear yourself out. And you're like, I'm gonna bring my own stuff in. So you bring your own stuff in, and they never get you anything because you brought your own stuff in. And then they get other stuff around you, and you realize, whoa, so like I gotta pay for all my own stuff, and then you go get other stuff. I'm gonna stop bringing my stuff because like I'm you're using me. So I get Dakota's play. I've been in Dakota's position, so it's a tough one. Um, it's not provided. They gave me a gun and a saddle and 2 carabiners. It'll get better, man. Use what they gave you for now. Make it work. Make yourself better. Move on. You know that this is a blip on your. This is a stop on your road. So you seem like you have the drive. I don't think this will be an issue. You'll deal with what they gave you. You'll make it work. And then they'll be begging you to like stay and offering all this stuff when you'll have better opportunities out there. So that's insane. A year for carabiners, and you're their top climber. If I get a chance, I'll try to swing over there and watch it. Oh, what's up, Brock? Getting fat on peanut butter cookies. Pro Masters 3-strand 5/8. James Russell. Pro Masters 3-strand 5/8. What's the 5/8? I need half inch. Has to be half inch. That's what the because the main reason for the rope is it gets used in those silly rigging scenarios where I just bust out a bunch of like carabiners and like speed line straps and spread it out throughout the tree. Do some smaller rigging or some natural crotch stuff. It's that rope, um, and it's the pull rope to pull trees over. So it needs like its main purpose is going through the maze dam, and that's the issue with the 12 strand I have. It works, and that's the reason that I always stress the hand ascender and putting a brake on a maze dam because I use half inch 12 strand and it's designed for 3-strand rope. So I don't know how it works for 3-strand rope if it still slips, but I know it slips all the time if you get it in the right combination of like tension and a little bit of like of relaxing that tension off a little. Like if a snag was to pop off, you would lose a bunch of tension. So I don't know. I just need to definitely need to look into them. I'll look at that though. Pro Masters 3-strand. I love working for myself. I couldn't stand working on those restrictions. Learning and integrating new techniques into my own has only helped me step my game up quickly. 100%. But a lot of these companies will wear you down to nothing, and you could have the ambition to want to better yourself and get better, and like, so that's where these companies work you to death, don't let you try nothing new. So then you want to try that stuff on your off time. But if you have a family, it's either learning a new technique or dealing or being with the family, and it's like it was a slow process. I've been there. Like I'm like, whoa, I ran into this problem, this problem, and this problem this week. I can't. That it can't happen again. I need to figure out how this could never happen. I need to figure out how this can never happen again, and I want this to never even be a thought. So that's where my brain gets to working. And during that weekend, I would solve those problems, whether we come up with a different looking, like a different device or piece of equipment to make it work, or learning a new technique, or yeah, I mean, all kinds of stuff. But I just everything's more of a like a puzzle for me. Like I look at it like this is missing, this was wrong, this was wrong, this was wrong. Fix it. What's the order? How do things need to go to make this work? And for me not to have to deal with that again. Why did this happen? And I think having to edit videos all the time and rewatch stuff and like see things that I'm always seeing things I did wrong, and I could gloss over them, but I feel like might as well just point them out and like make it obvious. And so I'm rambling again. We've heard of V-Hex rope by Right Rope. Like, have you heard of a V-Hex rope by Right Rope? No, I haven't. Rob Bob, I haven't. Notch cracking. I've heard good things about that rope, but then I heard some really bad things too. So, oh, no problem, Dakota. I'm looking for a natural crotch rope that's never, or that's newer and a lighter design than stable braid or husky. I don't know. I mean, the problem is if you're using it for natural crotch rigging, it needs to be a very, very, very strong abrasive. Like when it comes to being a rope, it needs to be sleeved and all kinds of stuff. It can't be like a 10x or stuff because no threads need to be. It needs because it's gonna be passing through. If things can snag, come apart. Um, the friction and the wear and tear being put on it from natural crotch rigging, I would say you have tons of options if you're not doing natural crotch. Natural crotch limits what you need. I've seen guys really have good luck with 3-strand rope with natural crotch rigging. If you think about it, it does make sense. The way it's sewn together, it's like putting a baseball card in your spokes. It's like it hits every time and causes probably a little additional friction, like in weird. So it may be good, but I could also realize that like it would probably wear a crotch out much quicker. So if you're not taking that tree down, using 3-strand in the crotch of it, probably not a good idea. You probably burn the crotch out. But yeah, maybe 3-strand. I don't know. VHEX looks like that rope. Really? Does anybody, when you guys went over to Gap and checked stuff out, did anybody look at their ring ropes? The thing that they do? They do lanyards of it, which I think lanyards, that's a really smart idea for somebody who's like always stressing on their lanyard. If they're using a rope lanyard, it's a design where if you nick the jacket on it, the inside core's bright red, so it'll show that you've got an imperfection in your rope or a defect or something in your rope, and it's easy to see. So if you were putting your stuff on and clipping on, you would notice, oh, my rope's got a big cut in it because there's red showing. And the reason it's called ring is red is a no-go. Yeah, red is no-go. So if you see red, don't use it. So it's something they're doing. I imagine they probably have climb lines and stuff, but a pretty cool concept. I only use 3 strand for natural crotch. Yeah, I think it would work really good for it, Ground Pounder. Oh, what's up, BR? Oh, you said that you had a saddle. They gave you carabiners and lanyards. I'm sure you have a climb line, and I'm sure you have gas. What else would you need? Well, you just probably need some more carabiners too. You know, a carabiner. If you had two, you could do redirects. You could do all kinds, like or a strap. Um, I don't know, man. If you've not worked for one of them companies that does that kind of stuff, and like, just, I don't know. I've just been there. I've been there, and I've spent tons buying that stuff and using it and making their production better. Because in the process of making things safer for myself and more efficient, I'm also, when I make it efficient, it's making him, just even more. So, I don't know, man. Like, it's a give take thing. Like, there's just those, I don't know. I don't want to get negative or nothing, but I've dealt with them, BR. They're out there. You could definitely get it done with all that stuff, but who wants to climb taut line if you could use a hitchhiker or a hitch climber and a Prusik? Monty, stop. Arborplex is too much. Totally understand why I couldn't work for David as an apprentice climber for 6 years because his DUI climbing monster cottonwoods for $13 an hour, and the other, that's crazy. I think half-inch 3-strand Samson works great with the Maze Dam for me. Right on, Bill. Yeah, I've never used a 3-strand in it. I know that's what it's done. I gotta shut this dude up. He's driving me nuts. Monty, lay down. Stop. Now. You wanna come in here? Come in here. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even remember what we were talking about. I know they're expensive, Mike, but you need to get yourself a more power cooler. I told you I got one about a month and a half ago. Maybe way, way better than Amaze them. I love them for smaller stuff. I have to check it out. But the simplicity, like, I've done things with the Maze Dam that there's a time and a place to take chances with some stuff. Like, I have so many options. Like, I look at something like, yeah, I could try to pull it over and smash it through and squeeze it through here, but I also have the ability to go up there and piece it out, rig it out. And especially if I'm looking there and I'm like, yo, like, definitely take the safer route if you have the chance to, the time to. So, I don't know. There's the CMI rope jack too. I mean, that works really good. It's just 2 hand ascenders on a handle. It would be a real good device too, but I'll have to check it out. I think I've seen them. It's just Let's see. Let's see what you said about it. You're happy with maze dams? Okay. I like the softer 3-strand for the maze dam. Yeah. If you use a maze dam with a 3-to-1, at the end of that, you'll have more than you'll ever need. You just have to make sure you have a strong enough rope. Yeah, yeah. I like. I've taken full size bobcats, guys, and pulled them out of sinkholes. Like, I'm not talking like in a little hole. It was probably 8 to 10 feet into a sinkhole, and I pulled him back up out of that. And I think there was natural crotch friction during it too. I threw it up through a fork in a tree. I don't even know if I had pulleys then. And I used the maze dam and pulled that bobcat back up out of that thing little by little. So the the tree jack has done more than I've ever wanted it to do, and I just don't see myself needing anything else. I always rave on it because of the cost and effectiveness. The comparison between them two, the price is so incredibly cheap and it's so effective. I'm like, go with that. So, not saying that it's the best thing in the world and that nothing else is better, because I'm sure there are some things out there. A good winch probably is way better too, or the chainsaw winch where you hook it up to the chainsaw and it's a winch and you just. I think Rion had one. Here's a maze dam. Okay. V-Hex is the rope I was talking about. It's advertised as a 12-strand for natural crotch rigging. Huh. Right on. Keep going. How far behind? Okay, I'm not far behind on comments. Cool. I can read them all. Oh, Rob Bob. Hey, thanks for hanging out, buddy. If you already took off, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to tell you bye, but bye. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, it will cut straight through, depending on how much you're doing. Like, it will cut straight through and will kill the entire section on the tree. I've seen it done. I've seen guys wrap ropes at the base of a tree, wrapping around the tree instead of using a porter wrap or a bollard, and killed the tree. They ringed it. Like, they literally wrung the tree with their ropes and killed it. So it happens, man. It's just that forethought. 13 people, 13 thumbs up. That's a good average. I'm the same way, I buy all kinds of stuff for myself for work. If somebody is experienced climber, as we know, they can go anywhere at any given time. Yeah, and that's what you do. You just outfit yourself with all that stuff. It doesn't mean that you should all take it and use it for a guy that doesn't maybe appreciate you, though. So that's where you weigh your stuff out. Like, if you had all this nice stuff, like say you own a lift and a bunch of gear and all these chainsaws, and a guy's like, yo, give me a hand on this job, and you're like, okay, but he doesn't want to help really do anything. He, won't help you out, but he wants you to use all your stuff. He would expect you to use all your stuff because you own a bunch of stuff. Well, you kind of be like, would this guy do the same? Especially if you're working for that person and they wouldn't do the same for you. Then I've just been taken advantage of, like, to the max, way more than I'll ever explain on the internet or YouTube, like, used and abused. And my kindness has been taken for weakness more times than I can ever count. And that's made the bitter old fart that I am now. So, I still have faith in all people when I shouldn't, but I'm a little weary now. So, spider lifts are, I don't know. Like, that's what I don't like around me, is they go rent all these silly ass things out, and people get hurt all the time. You hear about, they smash them, they have you pay for insurance, and then they have you sign a piece of paper that says this machine is not, it does not insure tree work, and like a couple other things. Knowing, like, and they're looking outside and they see you go wearing all tree gear. Like, I've seen tree companies come in, rent them, and they sign the piece of paper that says this machine, you're paying for insurance, but this machine is not insured to do what you're going to go do. And they let you drive off with it. They don't care. So, spider lifts are cool though. Yeah, I think I'm trying to think of what, a nifty, like I used a nifty lift here at my neighbor's one time to do like this rotten, nasty thing for him. Stupidest design I've ever seen in my life. That machine is designed to balance out and flatten out on a completely flat surface. If you're on a hill that's more than that, you can't balance it. It only goes, like, it lifts the tires off the ground this much. So if you can't balance the machine out in that much room, you're maxed out. Worst design I've ever seen in my life. Rented it to help him out. He was paying for the rental, so I was like, I'll do it. So we went, got it. I couldn't get it balanced. I did everything. I had that thing stacked on rocks and cement blocks before I finally got it to balance out. And every time I got extended out, it kicked it off balance. The bill jacks, on the other hand, amazing. It has auto balance. They work amazing. And I'm sure Spider Lift and the Arborist lifts are more like the bill jacks lifts. So. I was quoted $200K for a 90-foot lift. Yeah, that's about right. So, have you guys ever been up in one of those little spider lifts, those pull behinds, extended all the way out? It's got a sway to them that you get used to. My chair here has about the same amount of sway that a Bill Jack's lift has. And it's just something you get used to. It's something you're always up there doing. It's always swaying back and forth, no matter what. They're a wild one. Your page is pretty wild ground pounder. Happy to subscribe. Thankful still Warren for giving me the platform to meet you. Oh no, my pleasure, buddy. Thanks for hanging out. 9% of my focus on removals, yeah. Andrew Simpson. What is going on, Andrew? Oh, cool. We'll catch you next time, Andrew. Hey, yeah, guys, actually, how long have we been going? Oh, my. Yeah, we're over an hour. I don't know how, but I can sit here and ramble with you guys for over an hour. And, like, it goes by so quick. And I still... Actually, there's no sense in me, like, turning the live feed off, because I need to sharpen this saw anyway. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys right here, and I'm going to keep talking to you guys while I finish this saw. But it's messed up right now. I can't believe he used the wrong file. Let's see if I can catch up on comments. That way I don't have to, like, mess with them the whole time. Screw and Nifty. Yeah, those things suck. Rambling thumbs. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't. What I was kind of bummed about this week is that I didn't get a chance to keep our game going. So, you can bet you're behind. Next week, we will be doing the game again. I will find a video for us to watch and talk about and discuss because I didn't do it this time and I miss it. I'm here till mine ends. A Tuesday ritual. You all know that? Oh, right on, ground pounder. Yeah. There was something else I was going to talk to you guys about. I can't remember what the heck it was. Oh yeah, I have a video done for you guys. But if I'm being straight, like, it just, if I've noticed if I put them out in a certain order, they get all, like, they don't get viewed. Things is all messed up. I don't know what happened. But YouTube is not my friend right now for some reason. They don't like me. And that's okay. But I spend a lot of time putting the videos together. And then I throw them up. And if I'm not paying attention, I can easily, like, just drown the video out and then nobody sees it, like, with other content. And I've done that before. And I gotta remember, people aren't just subscribed to my channel, like, they're subscribed to others. So I'm thinking maybe I could do it on more of a schedule on the upload, but I don't know. Yeah, I feel like if I do anything other than the live feed on a schedule, it'll make it feel like a job, and I probably won't want to do it. I kind of lose my creativeness for it. I don't know. And I don't want to do that because I am kind of in a bit of a slump when it comes to making videos. I'm a bit aggravated with it, but I can manage. I can get through it. It's not that bad. But yeah, you guys have seen shorts of it here lately. I've put a few shorts out from the video. I just, if I'm being honest, I 100% misjudged the entire, pretty much everything. From the ground, I looked up at this tree, and okay, the tree went up, and it went up probably 50, 60 foot, and then it just completely dog-legged and grew horizontal right out over the house. It was a walnut tree, and it's on a farm, and I don't know what it is about that, but like, if it's the cows on the root system, if it's the cow poop in the dirt, or what does it, but it never fails. When I'm on those farms, the trees end up being hollow a lot of times. And I got set up in it, and I'm like, all right, I'll be good. Like, I got a tie in here, should be okay. And as soon as I got in it, I realized, oh my God, this thing is moving and is shaking like crazy. Like, oh no, this is not good. And lucky for me, like, growing up right through the middle of it, like, they were fighting each other, was this little shagbark hickory, or maybe it was a pignut. It was a hickory, that's all I know. I think it was a shagbark, but yeah, this hickory grew right next to it, so luckily it was there. And like, there was a big lead that went out over the house that I had plans on going out and like taking care of it and cutting it in 2 sections so that it was safe. And that wasn't even a possibility after I got up there. I'm like, oh no, the guy that's on the ground, this is his first day ever even seeing this being, like, ever doing anything like this. He don't know what's going on. And then I find out he has a severe hearing problem that I didn't know. And I was like, yo, do you have earbuds in? He's like, no, I'm really hard of hearing. Like, I got a bad problem with my hearing. And I'm like, oh, dang. Like, communication is key. And, you know, there was a guy a while back that ripped the communication stuff out of my hard hats when he was working. He's like, I don't know what this little microphone was down my, and he like ripped it out. I don't know what he was doing. But so yeah, I gotta figure that out. And if that guy ever wants to try to help again, like, I just need to be able to talk with him with ease and be able to communicate. But he had never done it. He used the tree jack pretty good. He did a good job. And but yeah, I got stuck. There was an insane hickory nut tree there that like leaned over everything, and pretty sketchy. And I originally, when I looked, like, I just misjudged. I misjudged everything on this thing. Everything in my brain was going to be easier. And then, like, whoa, hey, where did this fence come from? I didn't remember this fence being here. Or, hey, yo, where did that wire come from? I don't remember that. Or, since when is this tree hollow? Or just one thing after the other. So, yeah. That's the video that I have for you guys. It is done. It is ready. And I guess I'll put it up. Maybe I'll put it up tomorrow. Or do you guys want it tonight? I'm gonna jump behind. I missed a bunch of comments. But when you need to sell the final for your arborist. Oh my goodness. It's kind of late, isn't it? I mean, wouldn't you guys just rather? All right, here. This is what we're gonna do right now. Let's see who's here. Let's play a little game. Okay, we got ground pounder and ground pounder. So ground pounder is the only one here. No, ground pounder and BR. All right. This is what I'm gonna do. I want BR to pick a number between 1 and 10. Don't do it yet. I want ground pounder to pick a number between 1 and 10. Okay? I'm going to choose odds or evens in my head. If I'm right, I'll put it up tomorrow. If I'm wrong, I'll put it up tonight. So between 1 and 10, ground pounder and BR. Barack hit me with the 69. You can't say 420. It's between 1 and 10. 7, BR. BR just waits, and he's like, so what'll make it? I forgot to choose one, and I haven't looked up, so what did BR say? We'll go with James's. What was James's? 6? So 6 and 8, 14. I was right. I picked evens. That's right? I'll upload it when I get off here. Who cares? So that there's something else for you guys to watch. We will do a premiere for that video as soon as this one ends. Which, I tell you what, let's end this one right now and instant premiere the video. So, if you guys are here, why don't you jump over and join me? Let's do that. I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Stay safe. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate all you guys. Um, if you have any questions or anything, just leave them in the comments. I try to do my best to answer. Stay safe, and hopefully you guys like this video.